was. We were both attending a Reef Relief Festival down in the Florida Keys. You see, all the coral reefs off the Keys are dying. And do you know why? Who?
Who? I always thought of the Keys as some tropical paradise, and you're telling me they have a poop problem?
Yes, ma'am. The excrement of all those tourists and residents are treated to only the minimum standards and then pumped out to sea. All that poop, well, you see, it kills off the beautiful coral reefs, which are virtually their own little world down under the water.
Well, I thought scuba diving in the Keys was supposed to be fantastic. I mean, not that I would know, because I would never go under there with the sharks and the barracudas and all that, because that's just not good common sense.
Oh, it used to be the best place, but now most of the coral reefs are dead as a doornail. But not for long. There's this thing called a Reef Relief Weekend, which brings this little known coral reef Armageddon to the forefront of people's minds so that something can be done.
Coral Reef Armageddon?
Absolutely. But it seems that only young college students like Hayden and me made the sacrifice of going all the way to the Keys, placing our signs on the beach next to our lounge chairs, and bringing attention to this plight. Anyway, I was proudly displaying my sign, "Your poop kills off innocent microscopic lives," when Hayden staked his next to mine. Give a hoot, just don't poop.
You just can't make this up.
Like a sacrificial lamb, she is.
I couldn't believe it. A man with an owl sign. You see, I had been looking for a sign, and that was the sign. Not the don't poop part, but the owl painted on the sign. An owl represents too much yang. You know, yin yang.
Is yang a good thing or a bad thing?
Yang is a positive, masculine, bright, active energy. And I mean, who wouldn't want a man with too much yang?
Well, I guess there's your answer, Henrietta. One can admit too much yang.
You know, it took me forever to find this venue.
The Tupelo Country Club? I don't think of it as difficult to find.
But there are so many choices for a wedding. There are barns, which was a definite no for me. I don't believe in farms and commercial agriculture. The cruelty is more than I can bear. I just don't see why those people don't get their food at the grocery store like the rest of us.
Violet, I grew up on a farm, and I can tell you right now, those animals led a much better life than me. I was up at 5 in the morning, milking the cows, feeding the chicken, shoveling cow manure, and then I had to go to school. And then when I got home, I had more chores to do. I'm telling you right now, if reincarnation is real, I want to come back as a cow.
Well, just make sure you come back as a cow in India and not the Butcher Box cattle ranch outside of town.
The many choices to have a wedding are so overwhelming, and since my mother's a witch.
I'm sorry, excuse me?
I'm not using that as a euphemism for something else. She really is a witch, or some prefer a Wiccan. Before Hayden and I could set a date to find a venue, she insisted we consult the wheel of the year. She demanded we wed on the vernal equinox, set a star, goddess of the dawns will bless our marriage. Hayden had an even bigger problem trying to plan our wedding with his family. They're Pentecostal.
And the Tupelo Country Club was the compromise?
Well, both of our mothers are members, so I guess it just made sense.
Nothing like a Southern golf and social club to bring such different worlds together.
Back to the issue at hand. We really need to talk about your hair. Usually the bride is giving me some kind of indication of the style of the wedding or sent me a picture of the wedding dress.
Well, I didn't go to some overpriced bridal boutique to buy a wedding dress that was probably made by some underpaid, overworked laborer. A bridal boutique that caters to you, hand and foot, offering you and your mom and your girlfriends flutes of champagne and tiny hors d'oeuvres while you model dress after dress, hand selected for you by your very own bridal consultant, probably named Rowena, who knows about the latest fashion from the Paris runway. No, I'm not doing that. I'm so happy to say I'm doing the environmentally friendly thing to do when purchasing a bridal gown.
They make environmentally friendly wedding dresses?
Is it made out of twigs?
No, I bought a used dress on eBay, the ultimate recycling site.
Well, you know, with all the garage sales and thrift stores that I frequent, I'm a granola girl myself, I guess. We really need to talk about your veil since that's going to determine a lot about your hairstyle.
I've decided to create it myself, using things I find in the forest beside the golf course.
Heavens to me.
I plan to wrap vines with ferns and other foliage, and I hope to find a few wildflowers, being careful not to infest myself with red bugs, or, as some say, chiggers, on my big day.
Well, the Tupelo Country Club appreciates you not investing it with chiggers either. You know, we pride ourselves in being an uninfested with chiggers type of club.
To avoid that, I'll be spraying my veil with a natural linden bug repellent that doesn't smell that bad, and after the wedding, I will compost my veil and resell the dress on eBay, contributing any profit to the Roach Relief Let Them Live campaign.
Well, a noble cause, I'm sure, but in addition to being chigger-free, we also enjoy being roach-free as well, and we contribute monthly to the bottom line of Bug Busters out on Highway 72.
You know, one good thing about getting rid of my dress immediately after the wedding is that there will be no dress to take to a dry cleaner to preserve like some prize game animal and all kinds of chemicals, for it to ultimately just sit in my mother's attic like creepy preserved breasts in a box.
Well, you know, I completely agree with that. It's not like you're going to wear it again at your next wedding.
I'm not planning on there being another wedding.
Oh, to be young and foolish.
What? Ignore her? Henrietta and her husband, practically since high school, are just a little tiff right now.
Oh, I'm sorry, Miss Henrietta. Hayden and I never fight.
Do you spend much time together?
Oh, yes, of course, but we don't live together. His parents would have never gone for that.
Well, that explains it all. All I gotta say is don't get rid of that eBay account.
Henrietta!
Well, this seals the deal. Mary Frances is not here. She never misses a barbecue competition, especially not a sanctioned one like Grills Gone Wild.
You're right. We've waited long enough. It's time to get the authorities involved.
Do y'all know how mad she's gonna be if she doesn't want to be found and sees pictures with her identifying characteristics plastered all over the television and internet?
Oh, that's right. She's got that birthmark shaped like Scooby-Doo on her butt.
This is exactly what I mean. If Mary Frances isn't dead, we're gonna be if we start announcing things like Scooby-Doo birthmark on right butt cheek. She'll never forget us.
I guess you'd rather have her decaying in a shallow grave somewhere, which is probably what's happened.
If you really think that, Fallon, it can wait a little longer. If that's the case, I don't think any amount of makeup's gonna make it where Mary Frances can have an open casket funeral at Stairway to Heaven.
I still think Gerald Halifax should be hung by his toenails for naming the funeral home that. It's made Tupelo a laughing stock.
You know he's a huge Zeppelin fan.
Henrietta's a huge Dolly Parton fan, and she didn't name her beauty shop Backwoods Barbie.
Oh, I love that song.
I cannot believe we're having this conversation. Y'all, I'm getting worried. I suspect foul play.
I'm getting a little concerned too. But heaven forbid she's with some golden boy. And here we are thinking she's got to have a post-casket funeral.
All right, let's just list the possible ways she could have disappeared before I go to Ferris and tell him that Mary Frances is MIA.
Missing in action? I'm gonna say it again. If she's getting any action from some golden boy, she's gonna be mad we've turned the dogs out on her.
I just hope Ferris takes me seriously. He doesn't have much get up and go. You don't get a beer gut that big by working real hard.
Annabelle, I cannot believe that you were too deeply embedded in your Pentecostal church to be on Team Holy Smokes. But somehow Church of Scientology's okay.
It's funny, on Friday night, flight night, your Pentecostal self had no problem sampling the wines.
How many times do I have to say it? Jesus drank wine.
How do you know Jesus didn't eat barbecue? If he came down today and entered a competition, there would be no more suitable team name than Holy Smokes.
We have put the Holy Smokes schism to bed. I will not have y'all dredging up this controversy again.
You know, I guess it's actually a good thing. If we divide and one of our team conquers, we can add barbecue queens to a long list of accomplishments.
Listen, if we don't find Mary Frances, one of our accomplishments is going to be having the Tupelo Honeys investigated for foul play. I'm taking a detour on the way to that competition and file a missing persons report with Ferris.
Poor Mary Frances.
She better be decaying somewhere, or having so much fun she forgot to check in with anybody.
That's a horrible thing to say, but there is some truth in it. If she's not already dead, I'm gonna kill her when she shows back up.
What about all the possibilities of discussing about her disappearance? We have not even touched on alien abduction.
Out of all the intelligent life on Earth, do you honestly think aliens would single out Tupelo, Mississippi to extract a specimen from?
Doreen Lipscomb swears she's a member of Mensa.
Mensa my ass. Doreen's as dumb as a box of rocks.
She also tells people that she's a natural blonde, but I guess I should have considered the source.
Well, I hate to even bring this up, y'all, but one time Miss Mississippi, she had to give up her crown to the first alternate because she joined a cult. Now, it was way back in the 50s, but we like to never let that down.
What kind of cult?
Oh, no, Hannah. The founder said that he was a reincarnation of Jesus and Buddha, and that he could tell you all kinds of things about yourself by examining the bottoms of your feet.
So instead of palm reading, he was a foot reader.
Yes, and he told his followers if their feet weren't read properly, they would die.
Clearly, he had a foot fetish. And these folks got suckered into offering their feet up to him.
Well, they said all kinds of stuff like, oh, if you had short toes, you were destined to have a short temper. And if you had fat toes, you were destined to have a fat and prosperous future with good fortune.
My toes look like Vienna sausages, and more than half my income goes to my worthless ex-husbands and their good-for-nothing girlfriends.
The Tupelo Honeys annual bridal ball is going to put an end to that madness, though. You'll get to wear a new dress every year without the accompanying new husband. I'm going over and file that missing persons report with Ferris right now. We've waited long enough, and if we don't do it, who will?
So we're assuming that Mary Frances isn't up in a UFO having her toes examined by some alien.
I guess so. We've run out of reasons why she could have just disappeared into thin air, except for possibly the worst reason. Mary Frances might have left the building, y'all.
wearing that big old tiara with the veil coming off the back? What kind of hairstyle are we going with today?
Oh, Miss Henrietta, you've been doing my hair for pageants since I was 3 years old. I trust you.
I did not know you were a pageant girl, Tiffany.
Yes, sirree. You know I was one of the top 3 finalists for a reality TV show. It was going to be called Tiffany and Tiaras, but that daggum Honey Boo Boo girl beat me out.
You have got to be kidding.
I wish I was. My family just wasn't dramatic enough. I tried to get my dad to tell them that he was thinking about becoming a woman, but he refused to do it. Can you believe that?
Actually, I can.
Then I tried to get Mama to tell them that she was having an affair with one of the other pageant moms to try and liven things up a bit, but she refused to do that too.
Well, I can't imagine why.
Really started questioning their love for me after that.
Well, honey, I wouldn't be too hard on them. I mean, you know, it is asking a lot to ask a man to want to be referred to as Bernice or something on national television. And I can imagine what the men at the tire plant would have thought.
You know, as much as I love my working relationship with Annabeth, I'm just not attracted to her, and I wouldn't want that to be held against me.
You're not attracted to me?
That's not what I said. I think you're a fine-looking woman, but I'm just not attracted to you.
Well, I mean, hypothetically, if you were attracted to women, would you be attracted to me?
I mean, I guess.
Oh, okay, I feel better now. I mean, I'm not attracted to you either, but you know, if I were into that kind of thing. I mean, I don't think you're half bad.
Thank you, I think.
You're welcome.
Anyway, well, that Honey Boo Boo girl, you know, she beat me out. She even had a gay uncle called Poodle. That girl was born into a reality series. Guess I just didn't get that lucky.
That's usually not a blessing, but a curse.
If you say so.
Well, if she hadn't beaten you out, then you wouldn't be here getting ready to marry your sweetheart, now would you?
That's true. I wouldn't give up Dylan for anything. Even for a much more dysfunctional family than the one I have.
That's a beautiful ring, Tiffany. Did Dylan pick that out all by himself?
Nope, I picked it out without even knowing it.
How does one do that exactly?
You see, Dylan had to go to Walmart to get a new set of tires, and in the meantime, we were just tooling around waiting for the tires to be filled in that big truck of his.
I met one of my husbands getting my tires rotated at Walmart. I say Walmart just keeps on giving.
Well, I was over at the jewelry place looking at some earrings, and Dylan wandered over to look at the watches. I didn't know it was employed until later. He asked my opinion on some of those watches, and I noticed the wedding rings. I didn't even know Walmart sold wedding sets.
Well, that settles it. You can get anything your heart desires at your hometown Walmart.
I am sorry, ladies, but don't be too quick to judge. A diamond is a diamond, and if you're in a place where you can get a new set of tires and your wedding sets at the same time, well, that is nothing short of miraculous.
Walmart is full of miracles. I was watching a made-for-TV movie the other night, aptly called A Walmart Miracle. It was about a girl who was living inside the Walmart, and she gave birth to a little Christmas baby in the bathroom.
Anyway, you know, Dylan pointed out some crazy freeform crown ring and said, "That's pretty." And I was like, "No, honey, that is hideous. I am all about some symmetry." I said, "This ring with the center emerald cutstone with 2 smaller stones on each side is really what I like." Well, the next night he took me to the top of Lookout Mountain on those brand new tires of his and presented me with the ring that I love.
The truth is truly stranger than fiction.
The moral of the story is, the next time your honey needs a new set of tires, you might just want to go along for the ride.
I can't believe I let y'all talk me into coming out here in the middle of the night. If I get arrested, I could get kicked off the NASCAR circuit.
I hardly think the boys of the NASCAR circuit would find breaking into your friend's house that bad a thing, especially since we're investigating her murder.
Yeah, NASCAR was started by a bunch of redneck bootleggers trying to outrun the law in their souped up cars. I doubt they'd hold it against you if they do find out.
Ferris get off his ass and do his job. We wouldn't have to be out here.
Every time I drive by the Krispy Kreme, I see that pole sticking out of his butt.
Oh, it's sticking out of his butt? What are you talking about?
He's gotten so big that his blubber hangs over the bar stool, and it looks like a pole is sticking out of his derriere.
If he spent more time doing his job looking for Mary Frances, we wouldn't have to be out here doing it for him.
All right, I'm going in.
Thank goodness Mary Frances was convinced if she ever got a security camera, the government would be surveilling her through it.
I asked her what in the world did she think they were gonna see? It's not like she's a domestic terrorist and she hasn't had sex in 11 years since Harvey died.
As far as you know. I mean, I just hope that Jessie Joe doesn't happen upon some sort of like Fabio blow-up doll or something.
If Mary Frances turns out not to be dead, we'll wish we were dead knowing about those possible escapades.
Oh, y'all, what if she did something truly crazy? Like decided to go hike the Appalachian Trail. Maybe she wanted to be alone and meditate.
She could meditate at home or at the library. Why would she go out into the wilds of Appalachia just to think?
I can tell you right now, that woman did not take off to go hiking. She would circle the Piggly Wiggly parking lot 10 times just to get a closer parking place. I can tell you right now, she would not willingly go hike a 1,000-mile trail if she would not walk 2 extra parking places.
How's Jessie Joe gonna get in?
Please, have her family serving time for something. I'm sure she learned from the best, from picking locks to making pruno.
What is Bruno?
It's what the prisoners call toilet wine.
Oh, they make wine out of toilet water? I'm gonna throw up.
No, they make it in Ziploc bags and hide the bags in the toilet so the prison guards don't see it.
How in the world do you know so much about making prison toilet wine? You know, maybe Jessie Joe's topless escapades at the Blue Hole might just pale in comparison. The Tupelo president, the president of the Tupelo Honeys having been previously incarcerated.
I have never been incarcerated. Thank you very much.
Then how'd you become such an expert on making prison toilet wine?
You can become an expert on just about anything on YouTube.
I have always had a fear of being wrongly accused of something and going to prison.
Why?
Have you not ever heard of Lee Harvey Oswald?
What?
Anyway, I figured if I ever ended up in prison, whether I deserved to be there or not, I needed some kind of plan to endear myself to the prisoners.
Well, isn't that what you don't want to do?
Yeah, the last thing you want to do is become Big Berta's main squeeze.
No, just the opposite. I wanted to be liked and not be forced to be Big Berta's paramour. Anyway, I figured if I could make high-quality toilet wine.
High quality toilet wine? The fact that's an actual thing is crazy.
Anyway, I figured if I could make it, I could avoid some unpleasantries.
Like getting shanked.
Whatever unpleasantries awaits one in prison, Fallon, yes.
How's Jessie Joe gonna get in?
Half her family's doing time.
I
Something.
forgot.
You know, it also helps to know by making Pruno that my 2 glass a night wine tradition won't be disrupted by a lengthy prison term.
All right, I didn't smell anything.
Well, we never thought she'd be in there cooking up a roast, Jessie Joe.
I mean, I didn't smell anything that smelled like a dead body.
Well, that's a relief.
Anything amiss? Was it ransacked like she'd been robbed?
Not at all. Do you know Mary Frances is quite the housekeeper? Dishes washed, beds made, there was nothing out of place.
That means there's only one thing left to do.
Oh, I feel like we've done everything we could do. I mean, we notified the sheriff, we snooped all through her house, and I went over to Magnolia Oaks retirement home to consult with her brother, Engelbert Humperdinck impersonator. Not only did he not even remember who she was anymore, but he cornered me by the piano in the bingo room and tried to kiss me.
What did you do?
Well, what else? I started singing Engelbert Humperdinck's #2 hit, "Please release me, let me go." And then we waltzed around the bingo room, and I waltzed right out of Magnolia Oaks retirement home with him behind me singing Engelbert Humperdinck's #1 hit, "After the Lovin'."
I admit, you really took one for the team.
All that. We're not any closer to finding Mary Frances.
This might sound morbid, but how long do we wait before we plan a memorial service?
Oh, a memorial service? Don't you think it's premature for that?
We have one stone left unturned. Eleanor said she knew something, but she wasn't gonna tell us.
She was lying. She'd say anything to get a honey's goat.
But what if she really knows something?
Why in the world would Mary Frances tell some queen bees where she was going and leave the honeys in the dark? It doesn't make sense. I'm telling y'all, she's bluffing.
But what if she really knows something? What if the queen bees took Mary Frances captive and are trying to blackmail the honeys?
I think you've been watching a few too many LA Law episodes or something.
Anyway, if you're Mary Frances's friend, you will go with me.
Go where?
I'm going to go have a martini.
I'm in.
Anyway, I'm going to go have a martini and devise a plan to get Miss Eleanor Amherst, the queen of the queen bees, to tell us what they know about the disappearance of one of our Tupelo honeys.
Henrietta's right. If I'd fallen off the face of the earth, I'd like to think my fellow honeys would come looking.
Let's go. Everybody knows that Southern women don't ask questions. We just help hide the bodies. We get the most of us on the way home.
I never in a million years thought getting married would be this much work. It took me forever to pick out the invitations.
It's true. You know, I have had brides spend more time picking out the invitations than they did picking out the groom.
I certainly did. Ever since Bubba and I met on the junior rodeo circuit, I immediately knew that he was the one.
You know, speaking of rodeos, are you still gonna wear that rhinestone cowboy hat with the bell trailing off the back?
Oh yes, so don't worry too much about the top of my head.
Noted.
I've really struggled trying to find the perfect invitation for this wedding. It sets the tone for everything, and since I have decided on a country rodeo themed wedding, it was slim pickings.
Oh, and it honors the spirit of your rodeo-themed wedding. Oh, excuse me.
We've got a big surprise for everybody, and I haven't told Soul.
Well, don't you want to keep it that way?
No, I'm so excited. I'm about to bust.
Let's hear it.
When I start to walk down the aisle, Bubba's gonna take out a rope, and he's gonna lasso me and pull me to him. Isn't that romantic?
Nothing like being bound by matrimony and lassoed at the same time.
Tansy, what kind of wedding cake topper did you order?
Oh, is the caterer here? It's the cutest thing you've ever seen. It's our initials written in a rope.
But your groom's name is Bubba, correct?
Oh, don't be silly. That's not his real name. His real name is Adam. And I've got our initials and rope on everything. The cake topper, the dance floor logo, the napkins, everything. T&A.
T&A? Uh-oh!
Okay, ladies, the plan is in motion. Annabeth and Henrietta are luring Eleanor here after Tansy Jackson's wedding.
How are they gonna convince her to come to some impromptu meeting of the Tupelo Honeys?
They're telling Eleanor that they have some evidence that some of her queen bees want to defect over to the Honeys.
I never understood why you couldn't be in both.
Oh, that's a big no-no. It's considered cross-pollinating. It's not allowed.
Candy Vandermeer has been trying for 4 years to get in Miss Mississippi. You don't seem to have a problem that she's cross-pollinated every county pageant from Boulevard to Tallahatchie.
Listen, she is my best client. Let's not be disparaging Candy Vandermeer.
Oh, I don't have to. She does plenty of disparaging on her own with that Hoochie Girl account online.
What?
Oh, somebody had to tell you sooner or later. How do you think she affords your fees?
I need to sit down. This may give me the strongest martini in the world.
I think I'll make everybody around. I want to make a toast to Mary Frances Fielding. She was one of the best honeys we've ever had. May she rest in peace.
While you're at it, why don't you make one for me too?
Frances! Where have you been?
Girl, they had you dead and buried.
We thought that you were dead. We were about to bury your memory with a martini.
And Candy Vandermeer's future pageants.
What? Ignore her. Where have you been?
I'm so sorry. I was under contract. I couldn't communicate with anyone.
Contract? Houses are under contract, Mary Frances, not people.
People are under contract when they're on a reality TV show.
What? That's where you've been, on a reality TV show? Well, I must say that they covered up your roots real good.
That is your takeaway, that her roots look good. What kind of reality TV show? We thought you were buried in a shallow grave somewhere.
No. I was,
They have posters with your identifying characteristics. They wanted to put them up.
You
Even
just
that
know
with
that's
that Scooby-Doo birthmark on your
What?
right butt cheek.
if y'all would have done that, I would have risen from that shallow grave and come back to haunt every one of you.
I told y'all. I'm gonna get myself that martini I so deserve.
What did you think we were gonna do? I mean, you disappeared off the face of the earth, and it just so happened to coincide with when you joined that little online dating website.
Yeah, we thought you got asked out on a date, and instead of dinner and a movie, you got your organs harvested or something.
I got picked by the Golden Oldies dating site to be on a reality TV show called Golden Oldies. Getting it on.
That's where you've been. Oh, Lord, that's gonna be the nail in the coffin for the Tupelo Honeys, especially after we found out that Jessie Joe's nothing short of an exhibitionist.
What? That's a story for another time. I'm waiting with bated breath to hear about a show with some golden oldies getting it on.
I don't care where you were. You could have called or set up a smoke signal or something.
I was under a very strict contract. They gave me $100,000 just for participating and $1 million if I won.
You got $100,000 just for dating some old guys?
Your root job just went up.
It wasn't that simple. First, you had to pass a physical fitness test. Thank goodness for Samantha Sneed's goat yoga class.
You know, I'm really gonna have to try that out, as disgusting as it sounds.
The contestants also had to pass a mental fitness test.
Counts out a lot of the golden oldie demographic, I guess.
You could have left us a note or something.
I couldn't. The rules were no one could know where I was except for local law enforcement.
That explains a lot. Ferris wouldn't get up off his ass to help find you. We had to take matters into our own hands.
How did you do that?
We may or may not know that you are an exceptional housekeeper.
You broke into my house?
I have many talents. I can't help it.
Well, now that you're back, how'd the contest end? Did you win $1 million?
I'm not allowed to tell too much before it airs. Let's just say I did extremely well. I had well-suited talents for all those challenges.
Well, what kind of talents? I mean, I know you won Miss Catoosa County Catfish Queen back in the day, but I don't think tap dancing would have come in handy.
I guess I could tell my best friends a little bit, but y'all have to swear not to tell. Swear?
Swear!
They pitted 10 women against each other and 10 men competed against each other.
You only had to beat out 9 other ladies? Oh, you beat out way more than that for Catoosa County Catfish Queen, and you won free catfish for life.
I bet you were more hell-bent to win, since catfish are bottom feeders.
Once I got picked, I had to pack one carry-on and head to the Bahamas.
The Bahamas? You've been to the Bahamas while we were thinking you were decaying in the woods somewhere?
Oh, no, it's not what you think. I mean, there was a little downtime, but mostly we had to participate in challenges and snuggle time with the men.
Then it is exactly what I was thinking.
Yeah, Mary Frances, snuggle time with a bunch of different men doesn't exactly sound burdensome.
Well, some of them had some really rank breath. You know, when you get old, your mouth can get dry and your breath starts to stink, especially with all the complimentary wine.
Oh, Elise. Well, maybe you should go on the Golden Oldies Getting It On show, and then you wouldn't have to master the creation of toilet wine. What? Oh, that's another story for another time. But do go on about the challenges of snuggling on a beach in the Bahamas while sipping some complimentary wine.
There were plenty of challenges. I just happened to be well suited for them.
Like what?
They took us to Pig Beach the first day.
Please tell me that's a beach shaped like a pig.
No, it's exactly what it sounds like. There were a bunch of big wild pigs that live on the beach.
And what was the challenge, pray tell?
You had to wrangle one of the pigs with a piece of rope you were given. My daddy had me wrangling pigs to castrate them since I was knee-high to a grasshopper.
That's where the well-suited comes in, clearly.
One lady fainted and had to be taken to the medical tent. The others just scattered like flies when those pigs came at them.
The first challenge goes to the Catoosa County Catfish Queen. I knew it!
I got extra cuddle time and a gourmet dinner with one of the men.
Good breath or bad breath?
Good breath. Very good breath.
Did you win any other challenges?
That's all I can say. But the first episode comes on tomorrow night.
Watch party at my house. Oh no.
Oh no, what?
Eleanor is down at Tansey's reception expecting some made up evidence about some of her queen bees defecting over to the Tupelo Honeys.
I have missed a lot.
Well, we made it up. Eleanor said she might have some information about your whereabouts, but she wouldn't tell us. So we lured her over here under false pretenses, because we were gonna get it out of her, even if we had to hold her captive.
Ferris must have been talking in his sleep.
What does that have to do with Eleanor?
Eleanor is Ferris's booty call. When I went to his house that night to tell him about the golden oldies getting it on show, Eleanor's car was there.
We almost kidnapped the sheriff's booty call. I bet he would have investigated her disappearance.
I told y'all, we had to tell law enforcement you weren't really missing in case somebody filed a report.
We could have negotiated our way out of kidnapping Eleanor. We could have offered up our balls.
No way we're giving up our future balls. I've already bought a new wedding dress.
We will catch you up tomorrow over martinis at the veranda at the Tupelo Honeys.
Well, okay, I'm gonna go down and tell Miss Queen Bee that it's all been a false alarm and that we found Mary Frances alive and well.
Before you go, I have one thing to tell my best friends. After the last episode of Golden Oldie hitting it on, this Golden Oldie is getting married!
Are you gonna be getting married here at the club?
Nope, I'll be flying the Tupelo Honeys to the Bahamas. And wear your best clothes because it's gonna be